Hey everyone, Leanne here from Kingdom Bloggers. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to set up your Facebook group to host your online Bible study. So maybe you have tried to, manage a Facebook group before. If you're a Christian blogger, I know many Christian bloggers try to start a Facebook group in hopes of driving traffic to their website. Unfortunately, you have no strategy. There's really no purpose for the group. Facebook groups are searchable, meaning people search for Facebook groups that offer a certain thing, right? One of those things could be because they want Bible study. And I will tell you, in recent times, in the last few years, especially since COVID kind of shut everything down, people are searching more and more for these Facebook groups, these online communities of, people who love Jesus, people who want to share in the Word of God, specifically in a Bible study kind of manner. Okay, so we are going to hop over to my Facebook group that you're going to be joining, as well as my friend Megan's, the one that is being used as a framework for this course, just so I can walk you through some of the important things you need to keep in mind when you set it up. And then we're going to talk about some things that you want to maybe keep in mind as you are moderating this group. All right, so let me share my screen here. All right, so first and foremost, have a nice cover. You can put words on it. I personally don't like having words on here. I like just something nice and soft and simple, but you could put the name of the group if you will. Now, let's talk about the name. Since Facebook groups are searchable, it is very important that the word Bible study be in your name. Now you can see here, Megan's got Girls in the Word. That's the name of her group, but she also has Bible study group. And I want to just show you really quick. So I'm going to hit Bible study and do a search. And you can see here group. So hers comes up just because I've already joined it. And then mine comes up. I'm going to expand this list. So Christian Women's Daily Bible Study, Women's Bible Study. So there's a lot of Bible study groups out there. It is very important for findability that the word Bible study is in the name of your group, okay? I mean, I would also give it a little extra name, kind of like Megan did. These just have an online Bible study or whatever. So you definitely want to have that element in your name. If I didn't say that enough, make sure the word Bible study is in your name, even if you have to do it like she's done it here. Okay, so we're just going to kind of walk through here. So make sure you have a nice image on the top. Now we're going to come over here to the group settings. I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of these. So I am an admin for her group. And let me just I'll start with that one. So we can all agree that Facebook is a little crazy in recent years. Lots of people just getting kicked out of their groups, groups getting shut down. Unfortunately, conservative groups, i.e. anything having to do with faith, tends to be on the chopping block. So I highly recommend that you find a trusted person to assign as an additional administrator for your group. So Megan this is her group, but she made me an admin so that if she ever gets blocked, like Facebook, just for whatever reason, she posted something, they didn't like it and they remove her from the group. Yes, that happens. She has a trusted person that she can text or call or whatever to say, hey, and figure out what to do until she can get her account reinstated. Okay. So it's always just a good practice. I have the same thing for all of my blog teaching groups. I have several Facebook groups that I run for teaching people, Christian bloggers. And Megan is my assistant admin. So she doesn't actually do anything there. She's literally just there as an emergency contact, if you will. So I highly recommend that you find someone, even if it's a family member who's not really into what you're doing, but they have their own Facebook account, just add them to the group and then make them an admin. I actually have an account for one of my dogs, a Facebook group for one of my dogs that's been inactive for years. I actually am planning to reactivate that account and then have my dog join the group just so I can assign that account as a backup admin. Again, this is just a backup to protect your account, because what happens is if Facebook, like you could post something on your personal Facebook that Facebook doesn't like, and it can put you in Facebook jail. So if you're in Facebook jail, you also don't have access to your groups. But also, and this has happened to me, I didn't get kicked out, but I commented on one of my members' posts and I said the word kidnapped. I was referring to my adult children having the day off. And so I kidnapped them to go have lunch with them. But because I said the word kidnapped, I got a warning. And this was in my group. Now, Facebook, what they will do is if you have multiple violations, they'll just remove you as the admin, even though it's your group, you created it. And they will randomly, if there's not another admin already established, they will randomly assign the admins to anybody in the group. And so you just, again, want to protect your group. So find someone you trust. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. Megan, she's my blogging BFF. And so we are each other's backup. So I definitely recommend that you do that. Okay, enough of the serious stuff here. Okay, so in your settings, of course, your name, you want to have a good description about what the group is, right? What it's for. Like put those keywords, Bible study, studying the Bible, free Bible study resources, stuff like that. You can also put a link to your website. Now she has a page on her website, excuse me, that actually talks about her Facebook group, and it's online, just everything. And so that is the link that she has here. You can go check that out if you want, just to see how she's laid that page out. So it's a really good way to get traffic back to her website from the Facebook group. Okay. New member intro. I personally, this is my opinion. We've all been in a ton of Facebook groups, and every time a new member joins, and if this is you, I'm totally not making fun of you, but just understand this from a moderator's perspective. You know, this group is for Bible study. If 100 people join the Facebook group this week and each person creates a, hey guys, thanks for letting me join, that busies up the feed and makes it harder to find the actual content that the group was intended for. So I personally recommend that you have this turned off. And we'll talk about the rules and what people can and can't post in just a minute. But I would just turn this off. Okay. And you can see it says off here. Privacy. So this is, can people find the group? Is it public? Is it private? I would keep it private. That way it's easier to moderate trolls. Unfortunately, we have to deal with trolls. And so if every person has to submit a join request, and we'll go to the questions here in a minute. If it's a public group, people just hit join and they're in. There's no way to moderate who's in there. And unfortunately, as a Christian group, there are people, including bot fake accounts, whose sole purpose in life is to come into groups like ours and cause problems. And we just don't want that. So you want to keep your group safe. So I recommend making it private. You can manage who can find the group in the settings, and we'll get to that in a minute, which is actually the next line. But we want this to be a private group. And again, the reason for that is they have to submit a join request and you have to approve it. Now, I will tell you, I get join requests all the time for my groups, and I delete a lot of them. I decline a lot of them. So let me unshare here for a minute. Okay. So again, this is all about preserving the sanctity of your group, keeping it a safe space, keeping it a godly space, free of drama as much as possible. The enemy's out there, okay? And like I said, I use the term troll. That's kind of the term people use for it. There are people who literally just they're miserable in their lives, and they literally go out and try to create problems in other groups. And when they do that, the effort and time that you put into trying to deal with them takes away from the people who were there. I've been in groups who didn't have this policy, and I left them because the person moderating the group spent so much time dealing with the drama that the point of the group, it wasn't a Bible study group, it was something else. But the point of the group was lost. Like there was no point anymore except to deal with the drama of, because this person didn't have control set up in the beginning. Set up your controls so that you can keep your safe space. Now, my procedure when I get join requests, we'll go to the questions here in a minute that you can set up. Number one, if they don't answer the questions, they don't get in. I hit decline right away. But if it looks just kind of weird, sometimes I'll click on their profile and go to their actual Facebook page, their profile page. And if anything to me doesn't look right, like sometimes you can spot fake accounts just by what's there. Or if what they're posting is anti-Christian. I've actually had some anti-Christian profiles try to join. I'm not going to allow it, because if their entire Facebook feed is filled with hate for God, why would I let them into this group? Because chances are that's what they're going to try to bring into here. Again, this is totally your decision. But I've been doing this for a while, and I see the havoc that it causes and takes away from what you were trying to accomplish, which is to help people learn the word of God. Now, we can argue the fact, well, these are lost people, and if you kick them out, they'll never have a chance. That is very true. That could be the case. But at the same time, you have to weigh the impact on your mission. Your mission. What is your mission? Your mission with this group is to help people understand and embrace the word of God, right? That's why you created it. That's what God has called you to do. And so when you allow that into your group, the mission gets put on hold, because now your new mission is to deal with that. And so you have to weigh that. I cannot tell you the answer to that. I just tell you how I deal with it. But I keep my eye on the mission at all times. And if it takes my eyes off the mission that I feel that God has put on my heart, then I turn it off, period. And so you have to figure out what that is for you. But again, it's very important that you do, because I have seen firsthand the effects, the negative impact of allowing that kind of stuff to take over your group. Okay. All right. Enough about that. Let me go back to sharing here. All right. So set it to private, hide group. So on this one, this is where, even though it's a private group, it can still be searchable. So how I showed you when I searched Bible study and then groups, if you make it hidden. So an example of this is my student groups. For those who've gone through my boot camp, I have a group for my students. That group is hidden. So the only way that anybody can find that group is when I send them the link, because they registered for the training. Okay. But your group, you're wanting people to join. So keep it visible. It's searchable, but they still have to submit the join request. You can put your location on here if you want. I don't have that on mine. Tags, you can assign tags. And these, unfortunately, Facebook's just like Pinterest and the other ones, don't really have tags that apply to us as faith. I mean, it does have religious, so you could, where did religion and spirituality, you could put that one on there just to help it, because unfortunately, Facebook and all the social platforms classify Christianity in the same category as witchcraft. So you could put it on there. It's not going to hurt. I've just chosen to leave it blank. Okay. All right. So customize your group. So here you can actually, and I'll show you, I did this on mine, group settings, your web address. So Megan still has hers with the letters on it. And that's because she has the link out in multiple places. And so she needs to do this all in one setting to change the links, but you can edit the slug. So facebook.com/group/ the default setting is a bunch of random characters. You can see here 2717, blah, 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 but you can edit it to be something more SEO friendly, start an online Bible study group, which is what my group is. And so I would recommend doing that. Okay, group color. This is just the aesthetics of your page. If you want to do this, do it. Badges. This is just a fun thing to like recognize people who post a lot. You can look more into that if you want to. Group affiliation. And so you can add group affiliation to a specific person or organization that is the admin of the group. So again, just assign it. If you have a blog page, you can assign it to that, or you can assign it to your person. She has it as her ministry, which makes sense. Okay. Who can join the group? So this is about management of the people inside. Now, this one, who can join the group? You see, it says only profiles. Here it says profiles and pages. So again, this is a personal call. So all my groups, I have probably 4 or 5 Facebook groups that I moderate. I only allow people to join my group. I don't allow people to join from their blog page. So that's what that means, a profile or a page. And the reason for me doing this, I used to allow it, but unfortunately, when a page joins, that's a business page, right? It's really hard to validate or verify the identity of the person. Again, we want to make sure that we're bringing the right people into our groups. And it's just easier to moderate and manage it. And so this is a personal call for you. I personally recommend only allowing actual people, personal profiles to join. And you can put that in the notes. I'll show you in the description. Join request must be from a personal profile, not a page. You can say that. I do that in mine. And I do get people who try to join from their page. And when I decline it, within 5 minutes, they rejoin from their personal page. Again, it's a personal choice, but my recommendation would be only to allow actual people to join your group. People profiles is what I mean. So I've actually had a few people who had a profile. It was a personal profile. That was the name of their blog, and not a human name, but it's still a profile that Facebook had to validate. So, okay, cancel. So only profiles. Who can approve member requests? I would say only admins. Don't let other members approve requests. And who is pre-approved? I have nobody, right? I want to manually approve every single person that joins. Now with the managed discussion, who can post? Anybody can post in the group, but on this one, approve all member posts. I recommend turning this on for a couple of reasons. So number one, if people are asking questions, you want to make sure that you see that. For some reason, sometimes people in one of my groups, I had it off in one of my mastermind groups because I trust everybody there. Problem was they would post something and I wouldn't get a notification, and the question would be left unanswered for a long period of time. So I turned it back on, not to moderate them, but simply so I would get a notification that there was a post that needed to be approved, and then I would see the question right away. So I would recommend turning it on, that every single new post that's created by members has to be approved by you. All right. Potential spam. Oh, the other reasons for the pre-approved comment, or that you manually approve comments, you're going to set rules, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we have people who either one, never read the rules, or two, forget about the rules, or three, think the rules don't apply to them. One of the things in my group, my blogging group, we're there to learn about blogging, period. There's a lot of groups out there for community and networking and all that, but my group specifically is for people to ask questions so that I can answer them so that they can build their Christian blogs, right? It's not a place to share memes. It's not a place to just come and drop a link to your website or your newest blog post and all that. And so I have a very strict no self-promotion policy. And I have a few people who at least once a month go and drop a link and just say, here's my new blog post. And I'm like, it's clearly in the rules. And so one, that detracts from the purpose of the group. The group is here to learn about blogging. So in your case, your group is for Bible study. And if you get people who have their own Christian businesses and blogs and things like that, or maybe they created their own study and want to share it with the group, if you want to create a monthly thread for people to share, then you create a post and say, hey, you can share your stuff on this thread. But when you allow people just to freely post whatever they want, that's going to busy up the feed, and it'll detract from your actual posts of the Bible study content. And so again, it's just like a teacher in a classroom. You have to maintain order. Otherwise, it can get quickly out of hand. The easiest way to do that is to, one, set your rules, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But number two, you manually approve every post. Now, the larger your group gets, like if your group gets really big, that's another benefit of having at least one additional administrator or moderator, someone that you trust with that part of it, but they don't have full access to the group. And so we'll talk about that as well. Okay, so let's go back to sharing. Potential spam, sort comments. You can go through all of these. Now, these are things that you can put up at the top of the group. So let me go to my group here. So, these tabs here, right? So you can set what they are. Some of these in here, things that you're allowed to share and everything else. Let's see. Okay, so that's all for that one. So over here so we did group settings. So let's do group rules. So there's like some default rules that are here, like be kind, respect copyright, no permission. So you can create rules, you can edit these. I would definitely let me see, what do I have on mine? Oh, I don't have them set up. I started working on one day and I did not finish it. Okay, so no self-promotion unless pre-approved. Please do not share links to your website or products unless you've been given specific permission or there is a dedicated thread for it. Okay. And number 2, we could add no hate speech. And that's kind of a given, and so forth. So you can delete the ones that are there and add them. But I would definitely, number 1, like let people know these are definitely not allowed. Like you don't drop links, you don't do this, you don't do that. Whatever it is for you, you need to establish that. What are the rules for the space? You can make them all in one. You can make them individual. I wouldn't put like 10 rules. Try to keep it to 3 to 5. And that way there's no question. Like the no hate speech should kind of be a given since it's a Christian group, but sometimes you got to put that in there anyway. So just be mindful of that. And you decide what those rules are going to be. Okay. Member reported comment. Okay, group quality. So this one, if somebody posts something that another member reports as like whatever, and that's why it's important to keep bad people out of your group, because they will come in and just start reporting posts to Facebook and then suddenly your account is locked. But they'll show up here, whatever they are. Add features. So these are additional things that you can add up at that top, guides and so forth. So let's talk about those things. Here. So you have guides, featured members. Okay, so for your group, we talked about rules and different things. So you have this featured section up here. So number 1, I would recommend creating a welcome video that just welcomes people to the group. And under the link to the video, so in the actual written part of this, here are some housekeeping rules, right? And so you can reiterate the rules of being here, the house rules, so to speak, and pin that, right? So this is pinned. The pinned post is called the featured. You can add multiple ones here. You can have more than one. Now, when you're going to do a new study, say this week you're launching a new study, you definitely want to pin that. So Megan's got hers here. I'm going to click on this. And so it's welcome to week 4. So she does hers by the week. So on Monday of each week, she posts this. Now, this one is kind of over because this was posted November 27th, and well, we're well past that. So you could post one for the entire study. You can post it by the week, however your study is working. But make sure if the things are going by the week, you want to create a post that has all the marching orders for the week, all the links to all the relevant resources they need for that week or for the month, if that's what you're going to do. So you do all this. Her study guide is on her website. So again, this is driving traffic back to her site. And pin it. That way, let me go back to home here. When new people join the group this week, they see, hey, here's the new, that's coming up for me because I'm an admin. It shouldn't come up for you. So it'll be right here. They'll see this. Anything else? She has some other things. So about the notification settings for Facebook, telling them to turn it to all, not just highlights, and so forth. So your pinned posts, aka the featured, anything that's super important, rules for the group, a welcome introduction, things like that, but definitely a landing page for whatever study you are currently in that has all the links. Because here's what happens. You may send it out an email and you may post it as a regular post, but then new people join the group, or even the people that joined it before you posted it, it gets lost. They didn't save it. So when it's at the top and someone comes back to the group to get this week's assignment, so to speak, they don't have to scroll through the whole feed. Everything they need is right there. If they've lost the links to the website, if they lost the links to the free printables, everything should be right there in that featured post so that they can easily find it for the current study that you're in. Okay, I hope that made sense. All right, so let's come back. So we had group rules, group settings. And then again, if you have files, you can upload files under this one, media. Files, I mean, anything relevant, you know, like PDFs that they can download. Personally, I don't recommend putting those in the group because you do want to benefit when you host things on your website. And we've talked about this in the training. Everything that you're giving should be housed at least on your website or your YouTube videos, because the goal is to use these Facebook groups to help drive traffic to those. Like, that's how this is all connected to where they each build each other. And so if you just upload the PDF file here, they just get the PDF file, and which is great for them. But if you host these things on a page on your site, then they have to go to your site to download the PDF, and then you get the traffic. And for those of you who are eventually trying to reach Mediavine or, you know, ad networks, those sessions back to your site are really important. So I personally don't recommend putting things in the files, but again, that's your call. You can check members here. Again, your feature post. Now, like on mine, I have guides. You can put guides here. And again, like that could just be that pinned post. You could reduplicate there or actually add it to a guide so that during the study, if someone joins a little late, they can go to guides and get all the past 2 weeks of lesson materials for the current study if they want to play catch up or whatever. Now you can go live in your group if you do want to do lives. I personally don't go live in my Facebook group. I do them via Zoom. And then I use my Zoom, whatever I'm giving, I record my Zooms. That way I can eventually turn those Zooms into YouTube videos. So I'm repurposing everything I do. And so that's what I recommend. But you can go live to do your studies, but you want to figure out a way to record those things so that, again, you can repurpose it. So anyway, let me see if I have any other Facebook group. No, I think that's about it. You know, a Facebook is a group for your Bible studies is great. You have to have a strategy. In the next couple of lessons, there'll be some worksheets, some things that you can download, checklists and things like that for you to make sure that you have ready. Some kind of icebreakers. You know, the biggest struggle in a Facebook group is just getting the people to engage. Like, they may read it and they may heart it, but will they actually comment? Will they actually engage with it? And that's truly what we want. So we'll talk about some different ways to present the material, you know, giveaways. Megan does giveaways with her studies. So we'll kind of walk you through that process. And how does she get the stuff that she gives away? She collaborates with others like myself and others in our community to donate some of our products to her to give away in her, the different studies that she does. And so again, cross collaboration is awesome. But other than that, you know, the biggest thing, keep your group safe, put the controls in place to keep as much drama as possible out of it. But the best way for it to be effective is for you to have a strategy, have a plan. You've already created your study. Now you just need to map it out in the weeks. Like, if you're going to do a weekly, what you're going to send out each week. Make your graphics. You know, don't just post words, put graphics on there or GIFs or things like that. And get creative. Every group is going to be different because the people in it are different. If your group mainly draws younger people, or if it mainly draws older people, men versus women, moms, whatever, you know, kind of figure out what things might resonate with them a little more. Those icebreaker questions are really good. Because people will engage with those, but you got to get creative with them. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I know this was kind of a lot, but it was meant to be more of an overview. I do have a checklist that will go with this that you can download. The link will be here in this video as well as in the course itself, of the things that we talked about. Right? Did I do this, and this to get your group set up? And then again, all the other resources that you might need will be in the subsequent lessons. So anyway, be sure to like this video and let me know if you have any questions. If anything didn't make sense, be sure to hop over to the Facebook group, and we'd love to hear from you. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.